Hello, everyone. This is Andreas Pop Culture Talk. Sorry about that, but we're here. I hope you enjoyed the logo. Today, we are doing the recap on Africa Olan uh, episode. Let me see here. Three? No, episode four of Africa, and then episode three of the Penguin, and then I will discuss Daryl Dixon as well, episode two, that came out this week. So anyway, let's get started. We have three shows to do, so it's gonna be a lot of shows to talk about. So let's get into it. So we're on to episode four. Africa all on. What do you call it? If you can reach, if you can reach you, let my son teach you. So this episode was the 70s kind of trial musical where we focus on Alice Wu, the character played by let me get her name here. Let's see here. Great. Where's this character now? Oh, Al Yan from Billions, Racing Down in Orange in the Black. So this is was her kind of like centric episode. We got finally Rio, played by Audrey Plaza, back again, and she is probably the best part about this episode. So just right about it. Overall episode, I think this episode was the weakest of the three episodes we gotten. I thought it wasn't bad, but I thought the trial was way too simple. Um, for a centric episode for Alice, I think we kind of get the gist of her character, and I kind of felt hollow after the end of her like journey. Like it didn't feel like I don't know, like maybe it was kind of it was like oh, this is the episode we focus on her, and it was like very easy. Like it wasn't like as traumatic. Like it was just like she was her mom went to the witch's world to protect her from a curse, and so that's why she has the scar that we saw. And all of that, and it's all neatly done in the film, in the episode, and the character development that we give to her. But I feel like we should have done more. But I think the thing that was kind of important for this episode wasn't really Alice. It was mostly the Africa and real relationship that kind of was the main focal point of this episode. So it was kind of jarring that we had this trial focusing on Alice, finally, getting those kind of answers, but then it's kind of overshadowed by the real and Africa relationship that is way interesting, and it's really the focal point of the show. We'll get into. Um, so obviously, last episode we had to bring up that last episode we got Cheyenne, or Miss Hart, of course played by Mrs. Former herself, Deborah Joy Rupp, Sharon Davis, got you know killed last episode. We didn't stay too much on it. They kind of just like made it great for her, and while the team gets kind of bigger, they needed to find a green witch to complete the covenant, and so they do like a witchcraft like a craft ritual to summon the green witch, and here, as suspected and kind of predicted, by what 3 weeks or 4 weeks right now, that Rio was the Green Witch, and we got Rio and Audrey Plaza just steals the show. I mean, if you haven't seen her work in Parks Recreation or Legion, her first Marvel project. That's not her first project of Marvel. It's Legion, the FX show by Noah Hawley. She's fantastic in that as the host for the Shadow King. Um, Oh my god, love Audrey Plaza. She just her improvisation, just her mannerisms, her just way of interacting the characters of the show is just so juicy and just entertaining all around. So it's just really incredible, and I thought that she really brought her chemistry with Catherine Han is fantastic. Of course, Attica Harkness as herself. And we get a little tidbit of this episode. So first off, we get confirmation. Did something happen to them in this episode? We don't know what. but I think that she had to do something with Nick the Scratch, and like we don't know yet. Did she help Africa find the dark hole? Like there's a couple things that we know is here, and then apparently, and this is a big spoiler. If you don't want to hear this, click this episode out. And you don't want to hear this like spectacular theory about Rio, but obviously Rio. It seems like Rio is deaf. This is our version of Lady Death in the MCU, and that kind of makes sense because the way she talks towards Asuka, like particularly when the teen, of course, played by John Locke, gets hurt and almost gonna die. She I think there was like a conversation. She talks about like, look, I know, like I think the kill she like likes to collect bodies or like souls. It very implicate that she has a like as a entity she collects, you know, dead bodies or like souls, that form, and so that really indicates that she's Lady Death. That makes sense. And I think it makes, and then the big question is, did she became Lady Death because of the Witch's Road or something that Africa did? Because that's something I think we didn't talk about over the MCU Bleeding Edge Africa One recap is like, well, because we know like these last four episodes, it's very telling that Africa Harkness has not been to the Witcher's Road. Like, I think she's lying to them. This is her first time as well to doing that. She's, because she has the Darkhold. I think she kind of presented and made this lie that like the reason she got the Darkhold is because she went to the Witcher's Soul, which I don't think that happened. And I think that's something we'll get a big reveal that she's lying, and then the way she got the Darkhold is from a different uh event and different situation she had to obtain. And yeah, and then there, of course, there's very clearly a like from the first episode we theorized that they probably are a couple, like they were like a formulated couple, Rio and Attica, which this episode really confirms that. The way they see each other, the way the Rio kind of pushed the buttons and Harkness, the fire camp thing towards the end of the episode when everyone was showing their scar, right? Rio comments on the scar that she had when she was I think satisfying the child, or actually showing up, and then I say like I got showed the scar that she got from Rio, I think, and then Rio came at her saying that her scar was her, and so like because what she did to her and what she had to do for her child, and it was really deep. One of the best acting from Audrey Plaza, and like that scene was so incredible. It tells a lot what's really going on with those two, and yeah, and then the ending of there was like very sexual, attention with those two. Um, because she brought up a really key point was it's not the teen is not her son, and she's like projecting that he's his son maybe, but yeah, so like the whole like Rio and Africa relationship was, I think, the highlight of this episode, and it was something that I was very curious about from episode one, and they totally delivered that. And I think it adds more to Athica's journey, and like pretty much adds the dimension to the character of Athica even more, which is really great. And speaking of the teen, the teen. So like even that is also the teen is becoming more interesting, and especially connection to Athica. So we predicted that maybe the teen is Nicholas Scratch for this couple weeks, and this episode kind of peel out the curtain here. And I never thought about this, but this makes a lot of sense because I brought up how real, because like first off, the teen asks, you know, Attica, did she put the spell on him, the sigil? And she say, kind of, she kind of started dodging. It's like, we're getting ready, you know, um, to leave, right? And that essentially she didn't answer that. Um, you know, and she is very nurturing. And plus, the way the way when he got hurt, she was very proactive of trying to save this kid. And so like there's hints of like maybe this is her kid, and or but then Rio this other thing where I never thought about this. It's like maybe Africa is projecting her, whatever happened to her son, her dead son, if we had to do that, like her dead son into the teen. And she's like, the teen is like reminding her about her son that she once had. And so she's projecting this child she once had into this kid that's curling with her in the covenant. That is really interesting. And like just as this again another dimension to Africa. It was like that she's really being tested as a witch, and like confronting her darkest demons of Henan for really the first time. It seems like because she hasn't really done this witch's role, and so it's like we're really seeing that the witch's role is really like taking everything at Africa and her demons, right? And so in conclusion, you know, I thought that I mean, still again, the production design by everything is spectacular. This trial of like the music, the like 70s disco studio, it was really fantastic. Like it looks so colorful. Like the reds were really vibrant. The costume design for each character that were wearing their 70s was like really top notch. Like especially Teen, like they really accurately show what band were wearing at that time, in the 70s. And so I thought that was a really cool detail of that. Um, but I just kind of wish the trial was like more engaging, and also like the trial should have been more like tough, because and I think because a lot of people were like, especially my host Jeff was kind of lukewarm on that because of the musical they put. By the way, you have the Frozen writers here, and they are doing a great job of putting the music here. I thought this other version of the Witch's Ballad was fantastic, very catchy. Um, I know it's not gonna be for everyone, but I thought it was great because it told the story of Alice and her overcoming her anger against what happened to her mom, and to really accept the sadness, And I think that was well done. I just kind of wish we delved into them more in this episode. But overall, I will give this episode. I think last week I gave this episode like a 8 out of 10. I thought it was a or 8.5 out of 10, maybe. I don't know. It's like an 8 out of 10. I will say. I think that this episode is the weakest of the bunch, but it's still entertaining. I'm very excited about episode 5. Apparently, this is maybe the big one because apparently a lot of the big analysis or like big, you know, how you say, coverage of press or breakdown people like YouTube stuff, YouTubers that delves into like the breakdowns of these episodes. Apparently, say they got all the how you say, like what was the word they had the early press screenings of the 4 episodes, but they didn't have episode 5. So that was very intriguing to hear that from particularly Break Room. And so right now, I'm very curious what episode 5 is going to give us, and hopefully it helps to get the show like get a lot more people to like really like the show. So yeah, I will highly recommend continuing the show. Is still great. So now let's get into the Penguin. Uh, Man, it's crazy. We got 2 villain shows, and I gotta say, right now, Penguin is just killing it right now. Uh, Very much killing it, which is great. Let me check here, see what we got here right now. So, just give me guys a minute here. So, 1, 2, and then so we're in episode 3 called Blitz from the Penguin, and this one was another fantastic episode. Bliss, the 3rd episode for the Penguin show for on Max. And this was a filler episode, but a very great entertaining filler episode that gave us other things to expand on that we were kind of asking. So this episode was very Victor or Vic centric episode. We see a flashback of Vic's normal life before being tangled with Penguin. So we see him like seeing his family. They're a middle class family. His dad is a mechanic. And I think he has a sister and a mom there, and they're talking, and then you see how like how hard on the monogamy is. Like they're doing well, and Vic is you can see some kind of ambition with him because he asks his dad that he should like raise up his price as a mechanic to get more money, but he's very comfortable. His dad replied, "Look, we got enough here. That's enough for myself as a person." So, and then we got confirmation of this guy. He's going to be up, and apparently he thinks his friend is connected to this other damn person called the Squid that's from the comic books. When I checked, and that was really cool to see here. And he meets up this girl, Garcia. Yes, yeah, Garcia on the rooftop, and they're talking, and of course Garcia has a lot, a very much big ambition, ambition to leave Gotham City. She wants to make a new life for herself. Sorry. Oh God. Let me. I should get my drink, but anyway. Um. So, ambition to leave Gotham City, start a new life, right? And while they're kind of like start to make up, we're in the end of the Batman, where the third act, where Victor witnessed the multiple explosions across Gotham City and destroying the street wall. In the distance, Victor sees the flooding hitting his neighborhood, and this we see the death of his family. So really shocking. And by the way, one of the most interesting is the budget and really the cinematic levels that the show is showing. That it still feels like Gotham City. I think more so than the Batman. I think the show has done a really great job expanding Gotham City. Really, adding the comic book stuff here, like Robinson Town or Crown Point into finally live action form here, and I don't know if the TV show Gotham did that, but it's really refreshing to see those things from the comic books that gave life to Gotham City to feel like a city. This show is really doing that, which is so fantastic as a Batman fan. Um, so we go back to the prison, and so Sophie um interacts with Vic, and he's a little nervous, but he does everything here. So Sophie takes Oz to the drug uh product that uh the product she's gonna they're creating, and is from the arc. She's using the same drug that they used on her and some of the inmates on Arkham Asylum, and it was very intriguing. And it's really cool that they did the realistic thing, like they using mushrooms. That's how usually all the drugs that we have here are from, like plants and stuff like that. Um, Really cool to see, and that's they're trying here. And Oz names it Bliss, and so to build the new operation base here, Oz had to. Sophie asked us to get his links and connections that he has to start up this new operation, and so he does by meeting a trade member called Link, and tried to set up a meeting for the head macho in the tray again. While we see this, we got Victor visiting by the a or Victor well, while he is at while they're doing the drug operation, Victor's visiting Garcia, and he learns that she's gonna leave for California to start over. While he reveals that he's working for Oz, and Garcia urges him to, like, Garcia, his girlfriend urges him to leave her. Tempted, he will give her a services. He, he shares his like 100 money to like get the tickets and all that, and he will think it over to either go with her or not, right? So that's the dilemma of this episode. So we're seeing the big question is like, is Victor is going to commit to this like crime life? Because he say yes, he has ambition, he has the guts to do it, but uh, as last episode and this episode, he hasn't yet like committed yet as a criminal. Uh, for other reasons, because his fam, like especially his dad, is like hovering over him. They're respecting more of him, and do some good, and what he's doing right now is just like completely wrong and like in the wrong direction, right? And so that was the thing. And so he gets the text that Ozra and Sophie are coming back, and so they leave, and they agree to maybe leave if he decide that, right? So after that, we go to Chinatown District, and I say Link, uh, as I mentioned, the trade member for what we're talking about. Link budgets us over on paid debt, only to accept the arrangement with Trey's leader, Fan Soy, if they get the Johnny Vito support. Johnny Vito, the other crime criminal that Oz and Sophie don't like. By the way, John Vito, what is what's his the actor's name? Uh, uh, give me a moment, guys. This typical from Michael Kelly from House of Cards, and Jack Ryan is spectacular. He's such a juicy criminal. Like he's like first of I. I, I mean, Penguin, like I could get, they're both men, but talking to a supposed serial killer of Sophie Falcone, like just pushing her and like just treating her like crap. It, very wrong decision, brother. And I hope he will get killed by her or Penguin because he's so bad, but he's also likable at the same time. It's just so funny the way he's put himself up to with these two. Um, of course, we see scene, BMS that, he he gives the tickets to Italy to her, and it's like leave now and all that, and just the way he treats people is crazy. So they need approval from him, and so yeah, while as he waits so outside, for Oz and Sophie to get done with the meeting, right, Victor is approached by a police officer, but he safely smooths things over by letting the officer confiscate the remaining money that Oz gave him, something that Oz congratulates him over later, which is a cool scene, very funny. My boy learned finally he's learning to how to become a criminal, and this was a good point, you know. How he handled the situation. And so we cut into the dinners, the lunch, the dining scene where he congratulates him then. And this scene was really great. Seeing Oz and them like bonding, and in particular, Victor opens up his family, particularly his father having settled as a mechanic, overcoming a chef, and how he never asked for a better life. And so, while Oz gives him a toast in his honor, with the father, which is really cool. He invites Victor to strive for better, as the world is unfair for honest people. So and there's a great scene where because I very happy, something that a lot of shows do, particularly with disability, like stutter or like something like that. In four, they always forget to like bring it up or like be consistent about this. This show, so far from 3 episodes, they still know that Victor is very he has a disability. He stutters, so sometimes it's hard for him to like properly get the word out of his mouth, right? Because it's hard for him. And I really appreciate they haven't forgotten that. And there's a great scene here. Um, the chef, the waiter, is asking what the order they want to have, and Penguin gets his, and then Vic is trying to get the steak, and then he couldn't say the last part. I can't remember, but it starts with a F, and and the chef, like he didn't do nothing really. He like know what he was trying to say. He kind of completed that, but Penguin just outbursts, say like, "Excuse me," or like he say like, "Don't ever fucking interrupt," or like let him say it. And Penguin, talks again with him about, look, you had to learn to, you had to learn to overcome the stutter, and never let people, you know, uh, help you uh, with the transition, or what I don't know what you call it, like the to not help you with this condition that's not I say a bad thing for you to have, a really great scene, showing how Penguin, like showing like a little bit of humanity with the Penguin, which is very great. Then we get to the fun part here. So I say Oz noticed the wife there. He asked for a favor. Later, him and Sophie crashes Johnny Vito in the hotel room having sex with Luca Falcone's wife, as we know from the first episode with the pictures and all that. So forcing him to support the plan and calls Soy as a sign of trust. So they now have that backing, right? And then they meet up at the nightclub, and while Zoe is intrigued about the risks and outweighs and benefits, saying, Sophie stay at Arkham as a liability, Sophie convinces him to give it a chance, pointing out that the citizens of Gotham will rush to use the drug as escape after what the Riddler did to the city. But upset, she leaves the meeting as us secure the Trace partnership, which is great. Uh, Before that meeting, we also get the Penguin wrapping up his girl and her associates, which let me get here, Eve, Carlo, the sex worker and Oz lover, to like dispute the new drug Bliss over the nightclub, and Vic becomes the bagman where he collects the money and then he will um give more of the Bliss to the escorts after they ran out. You know, so while we see that forming, uh, Vic tries to dance with the girl in the nightclub, the one that we met in the last episode. But the lights, the sounds, the music kind of triggers his memories of the night of the Zero explosion from the Batman, which, by the way, fantastic PST, really great insanity tech scene. Not great to have seen someone having that, but like really great seeing how they constructed and how they set it up and how they ended. It's really surreal and well, not surreal, like very intense, but like you're with the character and feeling his like sanity in a way that's is believable, and they did a really good job with that. And so very intrigued about that and see if he will overcome that over the series, which should be kind of intriguing. And then we get the great scene here, and I think I talked about this last Monday on the Monday report about the uh, Emmy nominations. We were talking about this show will definitely get Emmy nominations, and this bathroom scene is the thing that will give Colin Farrell his Emmy nomination. The scene with Penguin talking to Vic, and Vic thinking he's like a prisoner of Penguin, is so fantastic because Penguin never thought of that. He really thought that he was taking Vic in his own wing, giving him food, and clothing, and shelter, and like getting that getting the impression that Vic is his prisoner is totally wrong. And he gets really upset about that. Of course, he pulls a gun at that moment, telling him, "Look, I giving you all this. You had a chance to leave. You can still do that. And I really like that because um, he finds out that Vic wants to leave with his girlfriend and all that. So he feels insulted, and he forces him to work for him, and to check he will let him go, right? Fantastic scene, and it's great performance by Colin Farrell and the actor that plays Vic. His name is what's Vic's name? Should I have here? Rennis Felix. From he's in the he played Alex Wire in the Runaways. Okay, I recognize him, and of course he was in Tactile, the 2021 Disney film. His performance here is great. This is his episode. Vic, this is probably the best standalone episode for a character that's made for a standalone character for a solo episode focusing on a character like Vic, because sometimes it could either go good or bad. If you watch The Flash, they did a really bad job of doing solo episodes on characters that really didn't care about, like unfortunately, Chester or Allegra, or like Arrow when they're trying to focus on the new Arrow team. It was always bad because you just never got behind the character and his beliefs, or like he just never got enough time to fully develop. But here, this is how you develop this a character like Vic, where he's very interesting, and the dynamic between him and Penguin is so fascinating as a show, and a procedure crime drama, right? I thought that that was all like set up well in these first these first two episodes, and this really open up it, and like you got, I was so satisfied how we got to this, and then it just adds more pressure on Vic of like choosing what he needs to do, like to leave Gotham City for good or stay and commit to this criminal life, and that's the thing towards this episode. We'll see hopefully the next couple weeks, because he steals Penguin's car and drove off to maybe meet up with his girlfriend. While that happens, let me get back to my notes here. Yeah. But well, yeah. Well, let me wrap up the. He does not end up going to his girlfriend or to California, so actually drives off. Like he just sees her briefly, and he decides to like not go with her. Very interesting. I guess he will commit to working with Penguin. I guess, which is be kind of interesting. So after we do that, we're back at the nightclub. We're seeing Oz and Sophie argue who is actually in control of the operation, and Sophie still mistrusting of her Oz over uh, her attainment at Arkham, living in uncertainty that she really is the Hitman or not, which we'll get into because I think she's not the Hitman. I think that her father is the actual serial killer Hitman, because something I saw in the comments that made a lot of sense. Um, that maybe Falcone actually framed his daughter to like take the fall, and like because he actually strangles victims. Actually, I remember in the Batman, he strangles Catwoman's lover, Anna, and then he almost killed Catwoman, and almost like halfway through the movie, and like so it's very intriguing that maybe he actually put her there, and us went along with that. So it's very intriguing if because we're gonna get a Sophie centric episode next week, and so I'm very excited about that because I love Sophie. By the way, Kristen Mitter, yeah, Christy Mitter, fantastic actress. Sophie Falcone is still a great character in this episode. She's just killing it, and just the way she's so feared and like intimidated as a small person is very like cool, as a person that is also small and high, and I think it's incredible that this lady is just she's becoming probably my favorite female supervillain performances after Catwoman, but played by Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns. So that's really great to see that. So and you get that, and I was just trying to make the relation, pleading he's loyal to her, telling that, yeah, like he confessed that yes, he did it out of selfless reasons, to like rank up himself into the Falcone family and start up a business and the club, all that we saw in the Batman. And so like, the way to like for him to try to get Sylvie to trust him, slowly, but then all of a sudden they get ambushed by the Marone wife and her man who prepare to execute Oz after discovering his duplicity on them, which is crazy. And then, you know, before that happens, Victor does return in time and kills one of the Marone's henchmen by ramping into his car, right? Oz gets into the car, very so happy to see Vic again, and he's like truly loyal to the big one. And then they drive off, and he orders Victor to leave Sophie behind. So very tricky end for that. Like we were talking about this in the MCU, but the report. I think Penguin set this up to like really give Sophie that he didn't know about the separation of that, and so it's very intriguing where we're gonna go from this point on, right? So yeah, I cannot say that. Well, the Penguin show is becoming probably my favorite show of 2024. Third after Fallout and Shogun. I think this is like becoming third. Beating out X-Men '97, which is great. So yeah, I gave this like a 9 out of 10. Great, like it's a filler episode, but it's a really great character-driven centric episode. Like just expanding on the Vic character, his how you say it, like uh his split uh dedication between being a good honest man and then a criminal life, right? And choosing his girlfriend over crime is very intriguing. Like it just plays out so well and executes so greatly. um yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. I highly recommend like highly recommend what continue watching this show. Is great. So excited for episode 4 because we're gonna get a focus on Sophie Falcone and also seeing the younger version of Carmine Falcone played by Mark Strong. So that's gonna be intriguing. So yeah, so that's the big one. So now this like wrapping up here. We're almost done here. For the show here. For pop culture recap. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Just give me a minute here. Uh, this give me right. Get me put Daryl Dixon here. So Daryl, Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, season 2, Book of Carol. We're in episode 2 now, and I can say called title Moulin Rouge. So I can say second episode of Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon season 2 is fantastic. It was much better than episode 1 if you people didn't like it. Give me a minute. All right, I thought I was gonna sneeze, but anyway. So I thought Moulin Rouge episode 2 of Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol was good. It was much better than episode 1. It gave us a setup for this next 4 episodes of season 2 of Daryl Dixon very well. They really split the time between Carol and Daryl and their journeys, which was fascinating. So we'll briefly talk about Carol's side because it's what I'm gonna do now with Daryl is like because they're gonna be two intersecting stories. I'm gonna do like separate and talk first to Carol and then the land will be Daryl. So the first thing we'll do is get into Carol. Uh, Carol and Ash, her new friend Ash, arrived to Paris. They landed in this like field country called Greenland, which is a North American island that's like in the territory of the Kingdom of Denmark, right? That's like it's an overseas country. Let me pull out this information here. Uh, yeah, overseas countries and territories in the like the Europe Union of that. It lies between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans. So they land there and they encounter these two other humans, research scientists Cole and Hannah. I don't know the first one is EUNN on or something. I don't know how to say, I should have used the Spanish to English uh, uh, speaking machine to like pronounce that name. But like the other girl and Hannah, the two research scientists who helped them fight a surprise walker attack, but quickly they turn on them, which was very fast. As typical Walking Dead. So like the lady that I cannot spell the name right, like typical like apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, or like in general apocalypse. Um, uh, excuse me, I had to sneeze there. Uh, she wanted, how to say Ash. She wanted to Ash to be her lover and be a sperm donor. And then while this happened, Carol convinces Hannah, who holds the crossbar on her, to help them. But escaping, and escaping Greenland, this the area they're at. But while they do that, Anna gets killed by Hannah, which was crazy. Sorry, guys, I got to clean my nose. You saw me do this before, just clean my nose. This is my show. I will, you know, this is a fast and loose recap. So you're gonna enjoy this. Clean my nose and then clean my tear ducts. Hey, before I did the show, I had to clean my room. It was very dusty. Oh dear Lord. Oh, it was like a nightmare on Dust Street, which was really shocking. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Oh man, I think I forgot something here, folks. Ankle cancellation. Ah, the ankle cancellation. All right. I made a mistake. I totally forgot about the ankle cancellation. Oh my god. Uh, I'm still a rookie here, guys. Despite I've been doing this like a full half year, live streams at my channel. I'm like still just getting used to doing this like echo cancellation. Sorry, folks. If you hear if you hear weird sounds and the audio was weird this like half hour is because I totally forgot about that echo cancellation because I had to show you my logo, the opening logo for the show, but all that. But sorry about that. Nothing gonna do. So get used to it. There's two other shows that the audio is fine. So this will be just all the time. But whatever. No promises there. So anyway, get back to the recap. So Hana kills her uh I guess friend or the other scientist that she was with, but only to be killed by Ash, who was like really unaware of Hana had trained scientists to help Carl and Ash to get out of here, right? So Carol, oh yeah, so like this at the so I forgot this. By the way, folks, I'm feeling better. Last week when I did the Nightmare on Elm Street 40th anniversary talk and the Monday report, which I had the Monterey. I had I was sick on Saturday. My allergies were I was very congested Saturday. My allergies were bad. Uh, it was a really bad Saturday in terms of allergies. And so I was really overcoming the soreness, sneezing like half a day. I was so bad. So I barely I didn't even watch episode three of Penguin or Deborah Dixon on Monday because I was just so still sore a little bit on Monday and so yeah so I kind of didn't catch on certain things. So here in my notes I forgot that when they were resting, Carol leaves him unaware, where she was going to Paris. And so, that was really interesting. Carol did that, but she's trying to save him, not to get, hurt. I mean, of course, this journey is dangerous. I mean, of course, it's dangerous. I mean, we still have the walkers. So shocking that we still have walkers. I'm surprised, how many humans are still left, at the world, of this Walking Dead universe. So that's what happened. And then let's cut it into you know, um, at the nest here with Daryl. So Daryl is still continuing teaching Laurent certain American things. Besides violence, he's teaching him American baseball while offering him to take him and Isabel back to America. So this is Jeff thinks this was left turn. I think it made sense. I mean, look, um, how you say it? Uh, uh, well, it makes sense that oh yeah, how you say makes sense 'cause he spent a lot of time with her, with Laura and Isabel, from last season, and so it makes kind of sense that he asked them to because he kind of feels they're become a new family for him. It's like the Rick and the group over Atlanta, in the Ritual Walking Dead series. So I didn't feel like it was out of place. I think they're just new characters that we're getting used to, and I think it's very commendable for him to ask them to come with him in this journey back to America. But unfortunately, what happened was after that, the overnight, Laurent is suddenly kidnapped, causing Daryl, Isabel, and the two rescue friends they had to from last episode, Foy and Email to launch a rescue mission. But while they're doing that, Sylvie discovers I think the friend of another nurse, something like that, discovers that the Laurent's kidnapping was just a ruse to get rid of Daryl in an ambush that fails. So it was really crazy to see this form, and I was like, why they did that? And of course, we get the explanation before Isabel kills the the other person that was with them that was part of the plan, kills him for his treachery, but the traumatized email explains that Los Saran, yeah, email was from the other group, not with Daryl and Israel before. So email explains that the Los Saran was worried that Daryl could take Laurent away because the whole nest has plans to test Laurent's potential immunity from the disease that create the walkers, and they wanted to like publicly show him being bitten by a walker. Crazy reveal, setting up the motions for this like season. With now Daryl has now to deal with the nest and Durand's army of fashions, army, the French Revolution, right? Um, while they do that, they're the whole like our heroes are waiting for like the like what let's see yeah, waiting for the low tide to come, right? We finally get the pushing of the relationship of Daryl and Isabel, so they kiss for the first time, and so their relationship is now blossomed, and now they're, I guess, a couple. Crazy stuff. So then after that, we get back to Carol, and so Ash catch up on Carol, and they land at a racetrack outside of Paris. So that, I guess he fixed the plane as well. So we got that. And then Carol's search for Daryl leads to her being taken by Durant's people, which is crazy. Who promised food to the entry locals to join them. And then after that, I think, oh yeah, so Durant finds Jensen ordered the death of Daryl and the friends, and Durant personally tortures Crunchon or Corndon, the other main villain from last season, who's torturing for information what happened. Unaware, he possesses the watch that he took from Daryl that had the nest location, which is crazy. So maybe she'll find it at some point. So just wrapping up, it's almost going to be two. This is the last part of the show. Um, yeah, season two is coming very long. I mean, we got 6 episodes, which I'm totally fine with. I don't need a lot of episodes to do this story. I think we're in a good pace right now. I think all the shows last week had really good pace. I think the best show that did it was Penguin. I think Penguin did the best of using their time and all that. Agatha and this had good pace, but I think certainly they could expand upon certain plot points or like took their time with certain things that was like intriguing, but they didn't spend on it too much. So I think that's one thing I really appreciate that. So overall, I thought the episode two was good. I highly recommend continue watching. Derek Dixon is still great as usual. I think my rating for this episode, I think I think I'm trying to figure out what Jeff gave it. It was like an 8.10. I gave this a 9 out of 10. I think 9 out of 10. I thought it was better than last episode of the premiere episode for season two. So yeah, but yeah. So I just want to say thank you everyone for joining for the Attica Ololon slash Penguin Andreas Pop Culture Recap episode 3. I've been really enjoying this. I actually, I'm less doing other things. So like I'm gonna get there's a couple more in this month every Wednesday for me recapping these shows. Next week, actually, this is a good time to talk about this. I am putting another show here. I think I'm gonna add on Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois just premiered this week. Season 4. They premiered the first episodes. There's a character they mentioned that I'm very excited. Hopefully they're gonna do. It's Brainiac. Brainiac. Here, let me put the picture here. Let me do here. Brainiac. Here you go. Give me a minute, folks. Oh man. Uh, I need to get a good look at this character. Here we go. Right here. Let's give me a minute here. Let's just do presentation, share the screen. Yeah. So I hope you can see it right there. That's Brainiac himself. He's probably coming into season 4 of um of Superman and Lois season 4, the final season of that show. Maybe they're doing a different version. So what I heard from the showrunners, this is going to be the post crisis version of Brainiac. Here, I think it's down here. Can you? Let me see. You can see. Oh, let me do this. So sharing. Uh, Let me do this. I hope you guys don't mind. I'll spend more time here. So here. So it's after the Brainiac's robotic form in the Bronze Age. This is the post-crisis version, uh, where Brainiac was actually sent to this ray of the multiverse. So this is here. Um, I'm trying to find where's the oh my god, yeah. That's one thing about the Brainiac. He has so many like so many complicated origin stories for this character, and it's like he's such an easy character. He's a alien robot collecting planets, and he mirrorized them, right? And it's like they just don't do that. Like, well, I prefer the version from Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I spent way too long. So anyway, you know Brainiac. Brainiac, great character. Let me try again. Should I try again? I guess to share the thing. But yeah, so Brainiac is maybe hopefully can pop up in that season. So which I'm very excited for. Anyway, let me get out of here now. It's been way too long. So thank you everyone for joining us for the Andreas Pop Culture Recap episode 3 on Agatha and the Penguins episodes 4 and 3 specifically for those shows, and of course Derek Dixon episode 2 as well. And next week we're gonna be all those 3 shows again, and adding on Superman and Lois episode 1 and 2. So we're gonna be a little behind on the Superman and Lois caps because I was hoping to watch it, but I had other commitments. So yeah. So guys, thank you so much. Oh, let me try again here. Yeah, there's like a lot here. Yeah. So yeah, because before we go, I just want to not to leave it here. Yeah. So Brainiac is a very great character. Let me see here. Man, uh, right here. I am trying to find here. Let me do a search here. Brainiac. I Just give me a minute. Yeah. Wish I could do this. Sorry. Just want to do this. Try to see if they do. Here we go. So they reveal an even bigger villain. Like we all know that this season. So they tease. So right here, we got Lex Luthor being somewhat the main villain for the story here, and he was already connected to Doomsday, having created the monster after he spread me on Bizarro, their version in Superman Lois in season three, towards really the end. So we got season four coming, and they name drop Brainiac here, so Superman's most challenging villains here. So they tease him in the first episode, and it's like an easy miss nod to Brainiac because they're using the post crisis version of Brainiac here. So he's using name drop Melton Fine. So if anyone knows in the post crisis when John Byrne reboot the Superman area, he did, he reinvent a lot of the characters. This is where we get Lex Luthor as the business side, the businessman Lex Luthor, and that's where it came from. And with Brainiac, he did it very interesting. So he's still from the planet Clue, but he was sent to prison, or like his body was separated, almost like the Phantom Zone uh, Raph kind of spiritual form, and he lands to this like musician, like this circus musician, or like a person named Milton Fine, and then he becomes Brainiac uh, organically. Now this is very interesting. So why? So that's really cool. So they're doing the '90s, slash you know version of Brainiac, which is cool. So, but yeah, I thought that's a good way to bring him up, but we'll see. I was hoping more the traditional or like the Krypton version of Brainiac, but they've been pretty much very grounded in reality in terms of Superman Lois, and they been the main focus was either DC Whipper adaptations or the '90s Superman comics. So that's been mainly their focus with that show, and this makes a lot of sense what they're trying to do with this version of Brainiac. I'm curious how they're going to do that in 10 episodes. That's the thing that annoys me right now with this episode. It's like they like I kind of wish like they had 13 episodes as last season, so we spent more time on building up Brainiac as a villain in this season. Because I not only have Lex Luthor, like you had Lex Luthor and Brainiac in this season, so it's just like I'm not a big Superman fan. I'm a huge Brainiac fan, and I just wish that he gets the proper attention, like some of the other DC villains. But nope, nope, we don't do that. So yeah, that's my thoughts here. That's all I had to say here. Let me sign off now. It's way too long. I'm going very too long. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Andrea's Pop Culture Recap episode 3. I'll see you guys next week on Wednesday for episode 4 recap. Bye guys. Ciao.